Hey, what's up, Skelemystyk? Welcome back to part 2 of the ban hammer. What's up with that? Bans, mutes, and spam reports, and what to do about it. In the last video, I covered up a bunch of the reasons for the bans, and I'm sure you've seen that video by now. So let's go ahead now and get back into part 2 of this and get all the rest of this handled. All right, here we go. Just recently, very recently in fact, there was a glitch with the Pegasus Pony pet. And I'll show that in another video. I'm just going to tell you about it in this one because I don't really want to switch scenes for what we're talking about here. Anyhow, there was a glitch with the Pegasus Pony pet. And the way it worked was, as a matter of fact, it's during Petapalooza here, the beginning of it. You could buy the Pegasus Pony pet for 8,000 gold as well as 8,000 crowns. It was the only pet available to do that, and they fixed it right away. But I guarantee you, there was a bunch of people who bought Pegasus ponies, and probably even more than one of them, for 8,000 gold just to exploit the exploit. Alright? It was never meant to be sold for 8,000 gold, but somebody there in the devs pushed the wrong button at the wrong moment or typed in the wrong line of code at the wrong time, and the Pegasus pony became available for 8,000 crowns or 8,000 gold. No other pet was available that way, so it's pretty sure it's a glitch. Nevertheless, anytime, there's so many people playing this game that anytime something like that happens, somebody is going to see it. Somebody's going to see it, and they're going to tell everybody that they know about it. So hopefully you weren't one of those who went and bought yourself 20 Pegasus ponies for your house, or even more, because that might come down one of these times. You never know. I haven't heard about any bans regarding that, but is entirely possible. Alright, so that is generally what bans are for. Financial, exploit, or you just being outright malicious. Or at least that's what bans have been about in the past. We have recently had an issue with a mass banning. People who haven't been on for a long time coming back and finding themselves banned. I personally don't think in this case that it was anything that the players did wrong. I think that the recent issue that they had with the child predator who was exploiting kids through gifting and whatnot like that, I think that made them take a good hard look at what was going on, and that they went through the information that they had, and that the mass bannings were about people who, for whatever reason, they might have thought, how do I put this? They might have thought were a danger to their game, and thus their legal standing, and thus their profits. Okay, it's back to that whole business thing. Okay, this child predator they had, I don't know if you guys have followed the news story about it, but they had a child predator who was like, I don't know, 22 or 23-year-old, and he was exploiting younger players to send him inappropriate pictures in exchange for gifts. And I mean, he got caught, and he's on his way to jail for that, I'm quite sure. But that one instance made Kings Isle, as family-friendly oriented as they are and as careful as they are very, very conscious of the fact that they have young children playing this game. And you cannot mess with them on that front. They will slam you down. They will ban you without a thought for things that they consider to be dangerous to the children. So you've got to keep that in mind. That's why a lot of these people who are saying the hex things and the blow me things and all that crap in the comments, that's why they find themselves not muted but banned. Because they're not going to put up with it. And the way the world's getting now, they're going to put up with it even less. Okay, so that's, I suspect, why a lot of the mass bannings went on, was they went through their files and said, hey, who's a danger to the game? Or, on the other side of the coin, who's been inactive for such a long time that it's not likely they're going to come back? You know, I think they went through, and that's where the mass banning came from, was this event with the Predator triggered all this, but it made them go take a good hard look at what was going on, an even harder look than they already have. And they said, hey, you know, it's within our rights to do it. We're just going to ban people who we see as being in trouble or being a problem or being inactive, or for whatever reason, we're going to clean house. That's what it comes down to. They said, hey, we saw this, that scared us. That scared us in our legal standing. And we don't want to get sued, and we don't want to lose profits, and we don't want parents saying, hey, Wizard101 has gotten lax on the safety of children and not letting their children play, and thus losing profits. So they said, okay, well, this is it. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. It's time to take some action. And they did. There was a lot of people banned. I am getting so many requests these days to see what I can do about somebody getting banned who hasn't even been on the game in a long time. Or someone who got banned for what they say is nothing, but again, you never know with the individual person. That's where you have to be honest with yourself. The point of the whole thing being is I'm getting a lot more requests these days than I ever have before to see if I can help someone get unbanned. There's that many more requests, ergo there's that many more bannings. So you have to take responsibility for yourself and your account. If you want your account, if you care about your Wizard account, guys, keep your financials straight. Okay? If you are buying something, make good and sure that you're either using a legit card, or if it's your parents' card, that they know about it, that everything that you do regarding the game, if you still want to play it, that everything you do regarding the game is above board. Okay? And I think I've pretty well covered bans here. I've pretty thoroughly covered bans here. Types and all that, and the reasons for it and whatnot like that. And one more thing I have to say about the bans before I leave that subject and go to mutings is, if you've been banned just for being inactive for a long time, I highly suspect that if you haven't done anything else, you can write KingsIsle or call KingsIsle and say, hey, I want to go back to being active again. I haven't done anything wrong. Can you unban me? I don't see why they wouldn't, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost anything to give that a try if you really want to care. If you really care about your account. Okay, there's one more. Let me think. What's really bad? Banning. There was one more that I thought of, but I've forgotten it. So I'll get on with the mutings. Mutings happen for a couple of different reasons. One's legit. One's not. Mutings, guys. It's just stupid to be in the comments talking about having hex with somebody, especially in the comments, to talk about various genitalia, to talk about anything sexual or location or personal information related. That was the other ban I was going to talk about, was account sharing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, it's just stupid to do that, especially in the commons, but really anywhere. You may not know it, but it doesn't matter where you are as far as speaking in the game. Okay? There is a little program, a little filter, or what have you, that is watching everything you say, whether you say it out loud in the game, whether you whisper to somebody, whether you are in the commons, whether you are at home, it does not matter. KingsIsle will protect their business, and there is a filter in place watching people do that stuff. Sure, there's words that get around the filter, but I assure you, by now, as careful as they are, they might not immediately mute you for saying those things, but I guarantee you their filters caught a hold of it. And God help you if there's a hall monitor in the comments at that time watching you do that stuff, because then you're done. They will slam you. They had somebody actually physically see you do it. You're in serious trouble. All right? So, guys, I'm not going to tell you what to say. I would never do that. But have some sense. If you must engage, and to me it's foolishness, if you must engage in that foolishness of talking about hex and all that crap that you know you're not supposed to be talking about because you have to get around a filter to do it, guys, I have two words for you. Skype. Discord. For God's sake, talk to your friends on Skype or Discord if you're going to talk to them like that. If they're used to you talking like that, that's your business. Free speech is free speech, but this is still their game. If you insist on talking to people with an open chat type language, you really want to do it on Skype or Discord, and never, never, never type it in the game. Never say it in the game. I'm not saying you should. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, hey, that makes it okay to do it. I'm not. I'm saying that if you don't want to be muted forever, don't do it in the game. The other muting is, this is a big one too, and I hate this one. I think it's unfair. And you won't see me say this very often, but I think it's even unfairly done to Heather. Okay? Heather and I have our disagreements. But I feel that regularly she is unfairly muted by spam reporting. Again, guys, one more time, I am by far not Heather's champion. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And I feel, I've watched it more times than one, her get muted for spam reporting when she didn't do anything. Goodness, let's not give any more ammo than we need to. Okay? So, spam reporting is a big thing, and you will get muted for it. Again, the best way to have a mute of this type lifted, number one, just use Skype and Discord. Talk to your friends on that. It works perfectly well for us YouTubers. We plan games a lot. We plan a lot of videos and games this way. We talk on Skype and Discord, what have you. That way, especially with Wizard101, as protective as it is, we don't violate any of their terms, and we say what we want to say like grown people. Okay, so you really want to think about that. If you say nothing in-game, they can't spam report you. They can't. If you have no chat bubble, you can't be spam reported. The other one is, as far as spam reporting goes, if you feel you are unfairly spam reporting, say you say good game or good match at the end of a PvP, and you got a bunch of people there who are ticked off because you beat them, or you beat one of their friends and a bunch of them decide to spam report you. Again, if you say nothing in the game, that's the first step. If you say a good game or something like that and you get spam reported and then muted for that, first thing you want to do whenever you get a mute notice, start taking screenshots of your chat bar. Start where the mute started at and take a screenshot of every bunch of conversation up to the point where you couldn't speak anymore, or where the chat memory left off. Start from where you got muted all the way back up to the top of the chat bar. Screenshot everything that was said. If you can show King's Isle that you didn't do anything with these pictures, you'll get yourself unmuted. Okay? And that's not so bad for a one-day muting. It does suck, and by the time you get a hold of them, the one-day muting will be over. But I've known some people who are muted for years for excessive spam reporting. And if you've worked hard to get open chat on your Wizard and you get muted, especially for 10 years, that chat save that chat bar, that will definitely help you to get that reversed. Another thing, whenever this is all going on and you contact them, don't be satisfied to contact them one time. Contact them. If you don't hear anything back or reply in a couple of days, contact them again, especially if you're in the right. Especially if you've got proof that you're in the right. Guys, King's Isle is a busy company, and they can't immediately answer every person who talks to them with some kind of a problem or complaint. Sometimes it takes a little while. Make yourself noticed. Keep yourself in their mind's eye. Dude goes to lunch, he's like, oh yeah, I've heard from Bob 10 times. I got to get back to him after lunch. He seems like he's really worried about this. Okay? So keep your records and keep contacting them, because they are people too. And sometimes they forget. Sometimes they don't have time. Sometimes things are going on. And as much as we would like to think so, we're not the only person in the world. So these are all things that you've got to think about with banning, with muting, and with spam reporting. All right. I think I've covered all of these and what you can do about them individually. I'm pretty sure I have. I know I've probably been long-winded for like 25 or 30 minutes now. But I wanted to be sure that I covered every instance that I'm aware of. Guys, I hope that you're not banned or muted right now watching this, feeling heartbroken. I hope you're not. I really do. If you are, This is the absolute most I can do for you, is to give you this information and have you take it to heart. Maybe you'll get yourself unbanned. It's possible. Maybe you'll get yourself unmuted. It's possible. But all you can do is try. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, a good hard smash. As well, subscribe, share, and yell my name to everybody you know, because I would love to see more of you around here. Until next time, this is Skelemystyk reminding you that whatever else you do, always love the game. Peace. Hey, what's up, Skelemystyk? I am here today in my Avalon Outlaws Refuge. I needed a little bit of privacy because I wanted to talk about one of the most heated, hated, angry, divisive subjects in the game of Wizard 101. That subject is PvP